Obviously, Brandon Roy being gone last week definitely hurt. It kind of exposed how reliant the Blazers are on their leader to be able to experience any kind of success. And really, they've always been reliant on Roy, but now that they're struggling, we're really seeing why, that to what degree they rely on him. They really struggle to find anybody to take his spot, to step up in a leadership role, running the offense, controlling the offense, and so everything really kind of fell apart against Detroit and Indiana last weekend. James Jones being out obviously hurts them from an experience standpoint and from a perimeter shooting standpoint. They're not sharing the ball, getting everyone involved in the offense. The way it's turned them into a very one-dimensional team, a jump shooting team, not a team that attacks the basket the way any post-ups from LaMarcus Aldridge and Channing Frye, who are more comfortable facing up for shots. Our opponents are forcing the ball out of Brandon Roy's hands, and it ends up turning into face-up jump shots early in the shot clock, which is the thing that they don't want. Nate McMillan always talks about, we want shots in the first 9 or the last 9, meaning they don't want to be taking shots in the 10 to 15 second area of the shot clock, because that shows that they're not testing defenses, they're not trying to rotate the ball and try and open up some driving lanes and get inside and either get easy baskets by layups or by getting to the free throw line. So what the Blazers are trying to get back to by switching to a 3-guard lineup is an offense that is more fluid, moves the ball, shares the ball once again, gets back to a lot of the fundamental aspects that they were doing when they were winning back in December and January. It's exactly what was expected. The knee never really fully healed. It never became a non-issue. When he came back from the injury, which was a bruised left knee back in, I guess he came back late in November, after missing pretty much all of the preseason and most of the first month of the regular season. They were just letting it rest up and seeing if it would heal, to see if he could be able to play on it, and he was able to. And so he played well enough in the 2 months that he was able to go, that it was easy to forget that the knee was still there. The problem was still present, and they were just basically their plan was to try and treat it through maintenance, to try and cut back his playing time, his practice time when needed, try not to overexert the knee, and see if they could just get him through the season on it. So what's happened is the injury has just caught back up. The wear and tear of basketball has just made it flare up again, and he needs another rest period to let it to calm down, much like they did during the preseason and the early part of the regular season. Doesn't appear that it's serious. They did an MRI on it last week. Everything looked fine. There was no structural damage. Exact same answers that we got back in October. And it's frustrating to James and it's perplexing to a lot of people, but it doesn't appear that it's going to be a serious issue. It's just something that it may be a periodic problem even throughout the regular season. There's no saying that even if he comes back after the All-Star break that this will not crop up again. It's going to be difficult to make the playoffs. It always was. It was easy to let that get out of perspective when they got so hot, and they got into first place, and they hung around in playoff. They were qualified for the playoffs for a few weeks there, but the fact is there's 9 really good teams other than the Blazers in the Western Conference right now. They are pulling ahead a little bit. They are all getting better. Houston is one of the teams that's just kind of on the fringe of the playoffs right now. They've won 6 straight. They've got to play all 3 of their games against Phoenix with Shaquille O'Neal now in the lineup, which means they have to face Shaq 5 times this year. Then they have to play all 4 of their games against the Los Angeles Lakers post Paul Gasol trade, which has made the Lakers a serious contender in the West. So the path is going to be very difficult. But the Blazers, the approach they need to take is they need to keep the playoffs in their minds. They need to keep that mindset going, because this is going to be a learning experience that's going to build them for the future. It isn't about development, no matter how much success has come along right now. They're laying the groundwork for what could be turned into not just playoff contention runs in the next couple of years, but championship contention runs.